Have you ever had the feeling that the life you are living is not really yours? Like you are following a path someone else designed for you, your parents, your teachers, your culture, society at large. And somewhere deep inside, a quiet voice keeps insisting that something is off. You get up every day. You wear your usual face. You meet your obligations. You talk to people. You smile when you are supposed to. But when the noise finally dies down and you are alone with yourself, a question surfaces that most people are too afraid to ask. Who am I really? Carl Jung believed this feeling is not random. It is a symptom, a signal from within pointing to a problem that almost nobody has the honesty to confront. Most people go through an entire lifetime without ever coming close to knowing their true selves. They perform social roles, wear constructed identities, and fulfill expectations placed on them long before they were old enough to question them. And the worst part? They genuinely believe that this is all there is. They die never having met their own soul. So here is the question that should stop you cold. Is this you? Because what you call your personality, your preferences, your beliefs, how much of it is actually yours? How much of it was silently installed in you before you even knew you had a choice? From early childhood, we are shaped to fit in, to become acceptable, to hide the parts of ourselves that make others uncomfortable, so we can earn love and avoid rejection. In doing this, we construct what Jung called the persona, a social mask, a carefully built character designed to make us palatable to the world around us. At first, this mask is just a tool, a way to navigate different environments. But over time, if you are not careful, the mask stops being something you wear and becomes something you are. You forget there was ever a face beneath it. And the cost of that forgetting, Jung warned us, is severe. It is paid in anxiety, in hollow achievement, in the chronic sense that no matter what you accomplish, something essential is always missing. Have you experienced that? You reach a goal, you get the thing you wanted, and instead of feeling complete, you feel the same quiet emptiness you felt before. That is not a coincidence. That emptiness is not out there waiting to be filled by a better job, or a better relationship, or more recognition. It lives inside you. And it will keep living there until you are willing to go looking for it. That is what this video is about. The journey that Jung called individuation, the process of becoming whole, of integrating every part of yourself, including the parts you have been running from. It is not a comfortable journey, but it is the only one worth taking. Let us begin. From the time you were small, you learned that fitting in required a kind of performance. Maybe you were told to be quiet, to be polite, not to take up too much space. Maybe you were taught that showing anger was unacceptable, that vulnerability was weakness, that you had to be confident even when you were falling apart on the inside. Without realizing it, you began building an identity, not from the inside out, but from the outside in, a reflection of what the world needed you to be. Jung called this the persona, the face you present to the world, the version of yourself constructed to gain approval and avoid rejection. And we all have one. If you have ever behaved differently at work than you do at home, or presented a different version of yourself online than you do in person, then you already understand what the persona is. It has its uses. Without some degree of social adaptation, functioning in the world would be impossible. But the danger is not in having a persona. The danger is in becoming it. Think about how many times you have said something you did not mean, just to keep the peace. How many times you have buried what you actually thought out of fear of being judged. How many times you have laughed when you wanted to walk away, agreed when you wanted to push back, smiled when everything inside you was screaming. This happens when the mask stops being a role you play and starts being the only version of yourself you know. You are no longer a person navigating the world. You are a character, performing a script you never consciously wrote. And here is the problem with that. The persona cannot feed your soul. It can earn you approval, but it cannot give you peace. It can win you compliments, but it cannot give you genuine satisfaction. The longer you live entirely through the mask, the more suffocating the emptiness becomes. So, if the persona is not your real self, then who are you? To answer that, you have to look at what lies on the other side, at everything that has been pushed down, locked away, and denied. Jung called this the shadow. And this is where the real search for yourself begins. But I will warn you now, what lives in the shadow is not always easy to face. If you are ready to go there, stay with me. If the persona is everything you show to gain acceptance, then the shadow is everything you hide to avoid rejection. But here is the thing most people do not understand. What you repress does not disappear. It does not dissolve just because you refuse to look at it. It goes underground. It gains force, and from there, it quietly runs your life, shaping your fears, your impulses, your choices, without your awareness or consent. Jung described the shadow as the hidden dimension of the psyche. All the desires you were taught to suppress, the anger you were told to contain, the weaknesses you were ashamed to admit, the wounds you tried to bury and forget. And here is something that might surprise you. Much of what lives in your shadow is not monstrous. It is simply human. Parts of you that were labeled inconvenient, excessive, or wrong by the people and systems around you. Maybe as a child you were naturally curious and loud, but you were made to feel like a nuisance and learned to go quiet. Maybe you had a fierce temper and were told anger was unacceptable, so now you swallow your frustration until it explodes sideways. Maybe you were deeply sensitive, but the world told you that was weakness, so you built a wall and called it strength. All of those parts of you did not go away. They just went into the shadow, waiting, and they do come out. When you lash out at someone and immediately feel ashamed of it, when you feel a surge of envy towards someone and quickly try to dismiss it, when a piece of minor criticism hits you far harder than it should, that is your shadow breaking through. That is the unconscious demanding to be heard because you would not let it speak any other way. When you do not deal with the shadow deliberately, it deals with you. It sabotages your relationships, poisons your ambitions, and corrodes your self-respect from the inside. But here is the truth that changes everything. Your shadow is not your enemy. In fact, some of the most powerful and authentic parts of who you are live there. Your raw creativity, your real convictions, your unfiltered vitality. You cannot become whole while those pieces remain locked away. Integrating the shadow is not about becoming dark, it is about becoming complete. And to understand how that integration happens, we need to talk about the concept at the center of Jungian psychology, the self. The true self, not the mask you wear, not the parts you have hidden, but the totality of who you actually are. If the persona is the mask, and the shadow is what you have repressed, then the self is what exists beyond both of those layers. It is not a role. It is not a reputation. It is the full, integrated wholeness of your psyche, the harmony between who you truly are and how you move through the world. Jung believed that the purpose of a human life is not simply to follow the grooves society has carved out for you. It is to become whole, to uncover your true nature and build a life that actually reflects it. He called this process individuation. But individuation does not happen by accident. It does not come to you in a moment of easy clarity. The self does not reveal itself to those who are unwilling to be honest about themselves. You have to seek it out. And that seeking demands a willingness to walk inward, to question the identity you have spent years assembling, and to face the parts of yourself you have been most afraid to acknowledge. The greatest obstacle on this journey is fear. Fear that if you remove the mask, there will be nothing recognizable underneath. Fear that your authentic desires are too strange, too inconvenient, or too threatening to be allowed. Fear that the choices you have made up to now were not really yours, and what that means for everything you have built. That fear is why most people never start this journey. They hold the persona in place with both hands and spend their lives wondering why they feel so hollow. But something remarkable happens when you begin to do the work. When you start facing your shadow and questioning the masks you wear, something loosens. A kind of relief moves through you, not because everything becomes easy, but because you no longer have to maintain the exhausting fiction that you are only the version of yourself others approved of. You begin to make decisions that actually reflect who you are. You stop performing for audiences that never needed to see the performance. You start to understand the patterns in your life, why certain situations keep repeating, why certain relationships never work, why certain feelings never fully go away. They all point back to something inside you that has been waiting to be seen. But there is a dimension to this process that most people overlook entirely. Something beneath even the personal unconscious that shapes the way you think, feel, and experience the world. To truly understand yourself, you need to understand the forces that were in you long before you were shaped by experience. And that is where we go next. The mind is far larger than what we consciously occupy. Most of what drives us operates below the surface, in the unconscious, where hidden patterns quietly dictate our behavior, our reactions, and our sense of meaning. Jung believed that to find the true self, rational self-examination is not enough. You have to go deeper, into the part of the psyche where something older than personal memory lives. Beyond your shadow, beyond your repressed experiences, Jung identified something even more foundational: archetypes. Universal structures of the human psyche, patterns of thought, feeling, and behavior that appear across all cultures, all eras, all human stories. Because they are not learned, they are inherited. He called the source of these patterns the collective unconscious. And it is from this shared depth that archetypes emerge, primordial images that shape the way we experience ourselves and the world. This is why certain stories resonate across civilizations. Why myths and symbols from cultures that never met each other still contain the same fundamental figures: the hero who faces impossible trials and is transformed by them, the wise elder who holds knowledge others cannot access, the rebel who refuses to accept the world as it is, the one who sacrifices everything to protect those they love. These are not just characters in stories. They are living patterns within you. You do not choose which archetypes are active in your psyche. They operate whether you are aware of them or not. And the problem arises not from having them, but from over-identifying with one and suppressing the others. If you live entirely through the hero archetype, you may become incapable of admitting vulnerability. You push harder, achieve more, and still feel empty because you have locked away the parts of yourself that know how to rest, how to receive, how to simply be. If you live entirely through the caregiver archetype, you give endlessly and neglect yourself completely, quietly building resentment toward the very people you are trying to love. Finding the true self means recognizing which archetypes dominate your behavior and making room for those that have been crowded out. It means understanding that the patterns repeating in your life are not random. They are these structures expressing themselves, demanding integration. Ignore this and you remain their subject. Understand this, and you begin to become the author of your own inner life, which brings us to the consequence no one wants to think about. What happens to the person who refuses to do any of this? What becomes of someone who spends their life running from themselves, who keeps the persona firmly in place, refuses to look at the shadow, and lives entirely on the surface of their own existence? Jung was direct about this. Avoiding individuation does not protect you from pain. It guarantees a different, quieter, more insidious kind of suffering, a fragmented existence that feels persistently off, even when everything on paper looks fine. People who resist this process do not necessarily collapse dramatically. More often, they simply never feel fully alive. There is a low-grade dissatisfaction that follows them everywhere. A career that looks successful but feels meaningless. Relationships that function but never truly connect. An inner numbness that they have learned to manage with distraction, consumption, or relentless busyness. The body notices. When the psyche is at war with itself for long enough, it finds physical channels. Chronic tension, fatigue that no amount of rest resolves, anxiety with no clear source, and the patterns repeat. The same arguments in different relationships. The same self-sabotage at the edge of something good. The same ceiling that appears just when things start to improve. These are not bad luck. They are the unconscious running the same loops because nothing has been examined or integrated. The most dangerous symptom of all is resentment. When a person is cut off from their own authentic self for long enough, a quiet anger accumulates. Sometimes it turns outward, against the world, the system, the people who never let them be who they were. Sometimes it turns inward, into depression, self-destruction, and a profound disconnection from any sense of purpose. This is the life that awaits those who choose the comfort of the mask over the discomfort of truth. But there is a way out. There has always been a way out. It requires only one thing: the willingness to stop running. What does it actually look like to find your true self? It is not a single revelation. It is not a moment where the fog lifts and everything becomes clear forever. It is a direction. A sustained commitment to knowing yourself more deeply than the world ever required you to. It means asking hard questions and sitting with the discomfort of not immediately having answers. It means looking at the patterns in your life and being honest about what they reveal. It means allowing yourself to feel what you have been managing around for years. It means accepting that the version of you that was built to be acceptable is not the whole of you, and that the rest is worth finding. Most people will not walk this path. The persona feels safer. The shadow feels threatening. The archetypes feel abstract. The entire project of self-discovery feels like too much when there are easier ways to go numb. But you are still here. And that means something. Jung was clear. True freedom is not found in conformity. It is found in becoming who you actually are. That means accepting yourself in full, your strengths and your flaws, your clarity and your confusion, your light and everything you have hidden in the dark. It means stepping out of the role of product and into the role of author. That requires courage, real courage, not the performance of it, but the kind that shows up quietly when you choose honesty over comfort, self-knowledge over self-protection, authenticity over approval. So, I am asking you directly, are you ready for that? Are you willing to question the story you have been told about who you are? To look at what has been buried inside you? To stop performing a life and start actually living one? If something in this video reached you, drop it in the comments. Tell me which part landed hardest. Have you ever felt like the life you were living belonged to someone else? I want to hear about it. And do not stop here. The next video goes deeper into the hidden mechanisms that shape your mind and your choices, the forces most people never become aware of. Keep watching. This is only the beginning.